Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. On behalf of Weigel's, fuel and food that's fast, fresh, and friendly, here's your East Tennessee update. First, I want to talk about Weigel's because I don't know if you're aware, but everybody's favorite moon pie is now a sippable treat. Oh yes, you can find them at Weigel's, available for a limited time. They're delicious. They go great. They pair perfectly together with a chocolate moon pie. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. I don't think too many people would argue with that, especially if you're from Tennessee. Moon pie milk, it's available now for a limited time. Check it out. I think you'll be impressed. And again, it's only on the shelves for a short time. As they say, the eagle has landed. Well, the moon pie milk has now landed at a Weigel's near you. By the way, we have a little bit of fog this morning, especially hugging the Smokies. It would appear that the Smokies have the best chance of some patches of fog this morning, and you may be greeted with some of that if you're traveling into North Carolina by way of I-40. Temperatures right now 61 in Knoxville. It is 57 in Morristown. Good morning to you, Hamlin County. And Crossville, you're waking up to 52 this morning, 50 in Oneida, 57 in Blount County there in Maryville, Alcoa, and 58 in Oak Ridge, Anderson County. We'll get back to the temperatures here in a moment. But again, this is one of those delightful days that are on tap. Dew points are in the 40s and 50s, very comfortable. But that will not be the way it is for the rest of the week. I got to tell you, it's going to be very, very different as we head through the rest of the week because temperatures are going to go back into the 90s later this week. And this heat wave will not be felt here, just here. It's going to be felt in many parts of the country, which we'll explore in the days to come. But I want to show you, at least right now, if you've got plans today outside, please keep those plans. We're going to have lots of sunshine as the sun came up just a little while ago at 6:19. But those are the dew point temperatures right now. We look around the state, there's nothing here to see on the radar. I believe we have a quiet outlook from Crossville to Cookeville, back towards Sneedville, the Tri-Cities. Of course, Knoxville, not a whole lot to see other than some green boxes in Missouri where they've had a lot of concerns for flooding, localized flooding. Still raining across Minnesota this morning. And there's areas bound toward Texas, more thunderstorms there, and quite a bit of activity in South Florida. But outside of that, it looks pretty quiet. I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. By the way, we hit 82 yesterday as expected. Normal high, 85 this time of year. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow to even get to close to 85. Today, about 79. Can you handle that? If you didn't even hit 80 today, wouldn't surprise me. But if you nudged 80, okay. But we'll be near 80 today, upper 70s. Fred says, good, cool morning. He's got his coffee time at Weigel's. Thank you, Fred, for being here. Appreciate that comment. On Facebook, if you're on YouTube, I'll do my best to magnify your voice. I got two folks. Steve Stone's got the happy face. He's got the sunshine, and then a different sunshine with the face on it. Love it. I'm glad to have you here, Steve. Very glad to have you here. Marilyn Bell says, happy Tuesday. Get outside and enjoy this beautiful day. This is the day that you want to savor because this could be the last cool day with low humidity. Now, sure, this is not the kind of day, as some people have noted, this is not the kind of day that's going to warm up your swimming pool. With upper 70s, you say, that's not going to warm up my pool at all. I want some 90s. Well, you're going to get that too. This 7-day forecast will convince you that the tide is changing towards summer. We're finally going to be getting closer to summer weather. By the way, we had such a rainy outlook. Many of you recall there was a rain delay for the Super Regional at Lindsey Nelson Stadium on Sunday. It picked up .75, but that was right before the game started. I think they wanted to maybe let the field dry out. So far, we're in the 90th spot. Who would keep track of that? I would. Well, the National Weather Service has the data, but yours truly went through the data just so you could have this in a little capsule, right? So you could see that we're a far cry from the top 10. But if we average at the top there, normal 4 1/4, that's about an inch a week, right? And if we already had 3 1/3 inches of rain, if we get an inch a week, we'd probably be closer to 6, maybe by the end of the month. We'll have to wait and see. And again, these gully washers we don't see in the short term, but the way the month ends could make up for lost time. So I'll just keep you informed. I like to keep my premium members in the loop ahead of time, but this is we are coming off the 4th wettest May. If you recall, we had the 4th wettest May on record, and those records are 153 years old. They go back to 1871. It's interesting, the top 3 occurred with over 9 inches back in 2013, so a little more than 10 years ago. Knoxville rainfall, again, had that little shocked face there in May with 8.5. The green numbers represent normals, but the white arrows represent the 2024 actual numbers. So far we're at 3 1/3. And if you like context, I'm here to give it to you because you're not necessarily going to get that everywhere else. Visibility, by the way, as I mentioned, really poor in the Smokies. Got some fog in spots. Please be extra careful if you're driving there. Outside of that, light winds right now. Winds should be, as he pulls out his notes, should be variable northeast about 3 to 8 miles per hour today. Very comfortable. Did I mention it's going to be delightful? It's going to be comfortable. Please, if you are not a fan of the heat, you're not a fan of the humidity, because once we get into that heat wave, some of you will be like, make it stop. I'm just the messenger. So if my message to you is today, get outside and enjoy lunch outside. Even if it's a PB&J with the crust cut off, sit outside on the porch because you'll be happy. You'll be happy you did, because being outside is good for the body, right? It does the body good. Very light winds in Morristown, or maybe in Wartburg, maybe 3 or 4 miles an hour. But temperatures right now are in the 50s. We have one number that stands out. McGee-Tyson's at 61. But it's 54 in Campbell County. Good morning to you at Jacksboro, La Follette, and Duff. 50 in Oneida, and Curley 52 in Wartburg. Those are our current temperatures. You look around the state, they're significantly warmer in Memphis. They're starting off at 68. I suspect by the time we start the Friday morning, Saturday morning, we too will be in the upper 60s. It won't take much longer in the days ahead before things start to turn for the warmer. By the way, I'm going to check in some notes. Fred's on here saying good morning. If you're on YouTube, let me know. I got Steve and Marilyn. And if you have a comment, I'll do my best to amplify your voice. It is 6:46. My goal is to be done in 14 minutes or less. I got a lot of information that you're just not going to hear just about everywhere. In fact, you probably won't hear it at all today unless you're watching me. Because if you noticed, last summer, some complained that we had hardly a summer. If we had 17 days, which we actually had 18, but if we had 17 days, that would be half of the average. The average is on the second top of the banner there, the subtitle there. It says the average is 34. Doesn't mean we're supposed to get a 34, because that'd be like telling a group of students, average is a C. Doesn't mean you should get a C. Some are going to get an A, some are going to get an F, but it averages out, right? There's always an average. Somebody's going to outperform, some years are going to underperform, but last year was an underperformer. The years before that, 2022, 2021, we had 41 days. So it just varies, but the average is 34. So some would say we had hardly any summer, but you go back to 2017, we had a similar year. We had 18 days of 90. And we're going to be moving into the 90s later this week. So that's why I point this out. There is no consistency. I remember when I moved here in 2010, yes, I was recruited to move here. Oh, yes, I had a job here. But yes, what's interesting is that people thought the world was coming to an end. But then all of a sudden you couldn't explain 2013. It's like people assumed it was just going to get hotter than 77, then went to 69, then went to 45 and 11. So this is kind of like what it's like at the beach. When you're reading a book or playing cornhole on the beach, throwing a frisbee, you probably don't notice because the tide comes and goes. So do the 90s, they come and go. The least ever was four days in the 1800s. 1961, we had six days. So those are some of the least ever recorded, but the most ever occurred during the Dust Bowl era. 1936, we had 78 days. But 11 in 2013 was a function of the fact that it rained all the time. Sound familiar? We've had a lot of rain in May and the early part of June, but can that change? We're definitely moving into a hotter period of time, and we'll have to wait and see what happens if we get any remnants of tropical weather. But I like to give you context. That's what I'm here for. And as far as this year is concerned, my premium members know that I had a forecast for about 33 days. I said it really is going to depend on what remnant tropical storm, what remnant hurricane, whatever's left over from the tropical weather. If we get super soaky and super soggy this upcoming summer, we could be closer to 29. But I said my range would be 29 to 37. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's maybe it's closer to 2022. We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe it's closer to 2023. But this summer outlook I gave my premium members, it wasn't just like yesterday. No, they've been sitting on this information since March 16th. That was 87 days ago. So don't tell me there's no value to a forecast. There is. The value of a forecast is not just what you say. It's when you say it. And yours truly passed this along to my premium members back on March the 16th. So if you find weather interesting, you'd like to sample our premium service, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button at the top of this Facebook post. as I will be giving my premium members new information all summer long about the early developments of tropical weather as well. Dew point temperatures, and that, by the way, can be important if you are planning a beach vacation this summer. Oh, that would be very helpful. Wouldn't that be nice to know ahead of time? I think it probably would. Temperatures, dew point temperatures are in the 40s in Oneida, 50 in Crossville, 57 in Newport, it's 54 in Greenville. The dew point temperatures, which is a measurement of the humidity in the air, very comfortable across much of the state. Certainly Kentucky, Commonwealth looks delightful. I mean, they've got Jackson, Kentucky, 47. Lexington, very comfortable. No humidity there in Fayette County. They're at 48. But it does get a little stickier in Greene, south and west of Memphis, and that humidity will come back over time. And we represent that here with the stuffy air in Greene. Doesn't show any change today or tomorrow, but as we head into the weekend and beyond, there's going to be more heat and gradually more humidity. As we like to say, it's not just the heat, it's also the humidity. And if you're sensitive to that, the green ooze will eventually come back in time for Father's Day weekend. Tracking the clouds and the rain, not much to see here at all. So grab the sunglasses, my friend. We're going to have a very warm day today. I would say warm. We're going to have a very bright day. It will be turning warmer as the days wear ahead or move on. Sunrise, sunset today, much like yesterday, came up at 6:19. We'll be setting at 8:52. The summer solstice occurs at 4:50 in the afternoon on the 20th. That's a Thursday. If you're keeping score, maybe that would be of help to you. By the way, if you haven't picked up the moon pie milk at Weigel's, what are you waiting for? It's available for just a limited time. And if you remember the moon pie as a kid, I always used to hear RC cola and a moon pie. Well, let's leave the RC cola to the side. Let's just change the narrative. Let's call it a moon pie milk and a moon pie. That, my friend, is a treat. And if you want to check it out, you can grab one at a Weigel's near you. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. And of course, I mentioned the moon pie milk, delicious, maybe a variation of what you might think is classic chocolate milk. You might love the moon pie milk. Check it out today. It's out of this world. You like that transition? It is definitely out of this world. By the way, the sun sets tonight at 8:52. It went up at 6:19 this morning. Here's my expected highs today. Some of us may hit 80. I'm looking at you, Athens. You might nudge 80 in Newport or Maryville or Knoxville, but we'll keep it at 79 in the shade, 81 for Tellico Plains. That's what I expect to see later today. If you're on the call, I just want to say good morning to you. We mentioned Steve and Marilyn back on Facebook. Anyone has a comment, let me know. I'll do my best to share your voice and also amplify whatever observation you might be feeling here on a Tuesday morning. By the way, it's the 11th. The 11th of June, we're on the 11th day of 183 days of hurricane season. That runs from June 1 to November 30. June 1 to November 30 represents 183 days. We've had 11 days of uneventful weather. But we do know that hurricane season typically reaches its crescendo in the months of August and September. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, but some development may occur long before then. Headlines, a slice of nice today. You knew I'd say that somewhere. Warmer sunshine on Wednesday. We're back to about 86. And then we're going to be hazy. We're going to be hot. And yes, we're going to be humid to end the work week. That's what I expect to find before the end of this week. Before this week is through, for sure. That's my expectations. I want to say again, good morning to you. If you're just joining us, it is now 6:53. Current temperature at McGee-Tyson, 61. Not representative of everybody. Most everybody else. Actually starting in the 50s this morning, and we should be in the 50s again tonight. We have a relative humidity at 81%. Dew point is comfortable, 55. And this is where we're headed today. Pick out your favorite hour. If you've got some errands to run at 10 a.m., you should be in the mid-60s. But if you wait until 2 in the afternoon, we should easily be in the mid-70s, but still a delightful day. Sunshiny skies, sunshine galore, as temperatures should finish off around 79 degrees. That's my expectation here on a Tuesday. Precipitation chances I have a 30% on Monday, but our friends at the Storm Prediction Center thinks that we as in Knoxville, could get some rain on Thursday. What do you think about that? I think it's probably going to be closer to Bryson City, maybe Klingman's Dome for a spotty rain shower Thursday, but I left it out. I don't see rain on Thursday at all. I have the chance of rain here on Monday, a 30% chance. We'll revisit that later today with some new data. But I can tell you the colder air, the pockets of colder air aloft at 5,000 feet, which would represent about Newfound Gap. Have you ever been to Newfound Gap? If you've driven up there, That's roughly 5,000 feet, so that gives you some context. But the cool air in blue and maybe the chillier air blue and the cool air in green starts to retreat. Maybe not this afternoon, but as we head through the rest of the week, green colors get replaced with yellow, yellow gets replaced with orange, and that means more heat and humidity coming in by the end of the week. This represents about 8 o'clock Thursday. So summer will be coming back. Be prepared for that. And who else would show you snow potential? I don't know too many people who'd show you this, but I'm going to try and show this to you. Let me see if I can show you. There's going to be, in the middle of June, over a foot of snow in Montana. You say, well, why would you show that? Because in order to have tornadoes, you have to have what? You have to have a clash of cold air and warm air. The warm, humid air, we have a reservoir of that, the Gulf of Mexico. But did you know they could get over a foot of snow in Montana in June? You say, just no one ever talks about that. It's like the canary in the coal mine. There's enough snow in the Pacific Northwest, you wouldn't know it was June. And if you were vacationing out there, you'd say, I didn't know I was supposed to pack my long johns. Maybe so, if you were headed out to Big Sky Country, because I'm told it's a beautiful state, but it's not snow-free in June, apparently. There's still some snow there, but it would also probably, it would freak us all out if suddenly we got snow everywhere, but it's thankfully just in those areas in the Pacific Northwest. Storm Prediction Center, it is time here at 6:56 to talk about some concerned spots today. We're talking about the risk for some scattered severe storms in Texas. That seems to be where the crosshairs are in yellow. That would be scattered severe storms from San Angelo to Kerrville. There may be some isolated severe storms in Austin, in Waco, San Antonio, and areas just south of Lubbock. There could be some patches of severe weather south of Denver, into New Mexico, and back toward Minneapolis, St. Paul, into Iowa, and one little hot spot around Virginia Beach, perhaps Kill Devil Hills in the Outer Banks. They too could have some severe weather, but there's not a whole lot to really discuss here other than a beautiful day, a Chamber of Commerce type of day here on a Tuesday. Now Wednesday, as I get ahead of myself, the spots that might grow into severe weather could be Minneapolis, St. Paul. This would be Rochester, Minnesota. This would include Sioux City, Sioux Falls, and some areas in northern Iowa and into Wisconsin. They may have some scattered severe storms. Omaha, oh yeah, Omaha on Wednesday, but of course we'll be watching them very closely on Friday. Speaking of weather, Wednesday looks good here. More sunshine by Thursday. There's more activity, really especially across northern Missouri. That would include Kansas City, St. Joseph, and over toward Peoria, Illinois. Scattered severe storms. Might get some isolated severe storms from Chicago to Denver to Wichita to St. Louis. So those are the hot spots Thursday. Here's where the difference is that I have versus where the Storm Prediction Center. They think we have the potential for some thunderstorms on Thursday. I think it's mainly in Bryson City and Clingman's Dome. I think it's far enough away from us that it won't affect us. We'll wait and see, get a little closer, but I think we've got a dry stretch of air, dry stretch of weather heading into the next couple of days. Speaking of days, it is 6:58. Nothing but big bubble, no trouble today. A sweet-looking day as high pressure slides across parts of Cincinnati and moves into West Virginia. By tomorrow, more of the same. More sunshine, but it gradually gets warmer under a southwesterly flow of air. Temperatures tomorrow should be reaching about 86, and that would be close to normal. Once we move into Thursday, you see what I mean? A little bit of green, but it's mainly east of east of Bryson City. I don't see it reaching us in Knoxville. I think the convergence will stay on the other side, primarily the other side of the state line, but we'll keep a watchful eye on that. And then once we move into Friday, we're starting to heat things really back up. I think we could be flirting with the low 90s. Thursday, 90, 93 on Friday. By the way, the hottest day of the year last year was 94. We did that. Let's see here, I got some notes here. We have last year. Last year we hit 94 three times. Three times we hit it on the 28th of July and the 25th, 27th of August. So our 94s last year didn't even happen until July and August. We will likely be doing that by the time we hit Father's Day weekend. There's going to be some hot days. There's no getting around that. I want you to be prepared mentally and otherwise. By Friday, it could be raining pretty steadily in Kentucky. That's the way this would suggest, but it may dry up before it even reaches us heading into Friday night. By the way, the Futurecast, pick out your favorite town. We mentioned the Valley Planner. Well, everybody's on the screen here. Let me take you to noontime. If you're going to eat lunch outside, it's 70 Morristown. That's delightful, my friend. That's like room temperature. Room temperature for our friends in Hamilton County at 70 degrees, 68 for Crossville, about 78 in Kingston. If you're on the call, let me know what you are seeing right now, but this is where we're likely to be in the coming hours. Mention Fred's on the call, Steve Stone, we got Marilyn Bell. Any comments you have, leave me a note, as it's now 7 o'clock straight up. 76 by 2 o'clock today. Should finish the day near 80. Not a bad way to finish a Tuesday. Speaking of Tuesday night, we're going to see maybe a mostly clear night. And then more high clouds will advance in the overnight period. But tomorrow, I think we're down to about 57 in the morning. Many of us in the mid to upper 50s. And we'll finish the day closer to 86 degrees. You won't see that here at noon, but you'll see it by the time we hit the rest of the afternoon. There's 86 by Wednesday, 5 o'clock. So obviously, a beautiful day today, a little bit warmer on Wednesday. So here's the forecast for today. 79, sunshiny skies, a slice of nice. Winds will pick up out of the northeast only 3 to 8 miles per hour. If you're in Athens, look for a high of 80. If you're in Newport, 79. If you're in Morristown, about 76. Traveling today, yeah, you can find 90 if you drive down toward Augusta, Georgia. Columbia, about 89. And if you were headed westward, they should reach about 84 southwest here toward Chattanooga. Tonight we're down to 57. I'd call it a starry sky for the evening. High clouds move in late, especially after midnight. The high thin cirrus clouds, but still comfortable. 55 in Morristown, 51 in Crossville, about 50 degrees in Oneida, and our friends in La Follette, Campbell County, down to 54. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. We got 86 on Wednesday. Yes, we got 90 on Thursday. Let the sizzle begin, my friend, because then a heat wave comes in and some folks will be waving the white flag. Make it stop. I'm not a fan, but hey, at least the swimming pool will get warmer. You know, have you taken a swim yet in the neighborhood pool? It needs some warming, unless it has a heating mechanism. The sun will do some good, because by Friday, 93, that's Flag Day. Saturday, 94. And then by Sunday, Father's Day, we should be hot for Dad, but Dad could probably find a shady spot to fish if he's going to go fishing on Father's Day. He will have a hot day indeed. Maybe some storms coming in next Monday. Something to watch for sure. By the way, if you haven't checked out the moon pie milk from Weigel's, it's available for a limited time. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24, and it's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. The moon pie milk and a moon pie would be a delicious combination. If you want to check it out, you can find them at a Weigel's near you. By the way, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.